Your silence is not empty, it's not a void. It's a statement, a declaration, a boundary. When you choose silence over anger, you're not giving up. You're rising above. You're showing them that their words, their actions, their chaos doesn't have power over you. And that breaks them in ways anger never could. Think about it. Anger is loud, it's reactive, it's explosive. And when you respond with anger, you give them exactly what they want, a reaction. You validate their behavior, you give them control. But silence? Silence is different. Silence is calm. Silence is controlled. Silence says, I see you, but you're not worth my energy. And that is devastating to someone who thrives on drama. When you choose silence, you take away their power, you take away their ability to manipulate, to provoke, to control. You show them that you're unshaken, that you're unmoved, that you're operating on a level they can't reach. And that realization, that's what breaks them. Silence is not weakness, it's strength. It's the strength to walk away, the strength to let go, the strength to protect your peace. And when you do that, you win. Not because you've defeated them, but because you've refused to let them defeat you. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their chaos, remember this. You don't have to respond. You don't have to engage. You don't have to prove anything. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Let your silence speak for you. Let it be the boundary they can't cross. Let it be the armor that protects your peace. Your silence will break them in ways anger never could. Not because you're trying to hurt them, but because you're refusing to let them hurt you. Now go out there and let your silence do the talking. Your kindness was not a sign of weakness. People will mistake your kindness for weakness. They will assume that because you are patient, you will always tolerate their disrespect. Because you are forgiving, they can continue to hurt you without consequence. Because you are understanding, they can take advantage of your generosity. But what they fail to realize is that your kindness is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It takes strength to be kind in a world that is often cruel. It takes strength to keep giving even when people don't appreciate it. It takes strength to choose love over hate, patience over anger, and compassion over revenge. Weak people don't do that. Weak people lash out, weak people hold grudges, weak people take the easy road of selfishness and bitterness. But you chose to be different. And yet, there were moments when you questioned yourself. You wondered if you were too nice, too forgiving, too willing to see the good in others, because no matter how much you gave, some people only took. No matter how much you cared, some people only used you. And at times it felt like being kind was a curse, like it only led to disappointment and heartbreak. But here's what you need to understand. Your kindness was never the problem. Their inability to value it was. The way people treat you is a reflection of who they are, not of who you are. Just because someone didn't appreciate you doesn't mean you should stop being a good person. You do not need to become cold to protect yourself. You just need to be wiser about who you give your warmth to. At some point, the people who took you for granted will realize their mistake. They will see that the kindness they mistook for weakness was actually a rare and powerful gift. They will remember the way you stood by them, the way you uplifted them, the way you never gave up on them, even when they didn't deserve it. And by the time they realize it, you will have already moved on. So don't regret being kind. Don't regret being the person who cared. You are rare and the world needs more of your light. But just remember this. Being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. Being kind doesn't mean tolerating mistreatment. Being kind doesn't mean allowing people to walk all over you. Kindness and self-respect go hand in hand. There comes a point in life when you realize that some people never truly appreciated you. They took your kindness for weakness, your patience for permission, and your presence for granted. You gave them your time, your energy, your loyalty, but instead of valuing you, they treated you like an option, assuming you would always be there. But that's about to change. Because one day, you stop chasing, you stop over-explaining, you stop begging for the respect, love, and appreciation you should have never had to ask for in the first place. And when that day comes, when you finally walk away, when you shift your focus back to yourself and your growth, that's the moment they realize what they lost. But by then, it's too late. The truth is, people don't always recognize what they have when they have it. They assume you'll always be there, always understanding, always forgiving, no matter how much they ignore you, disrespect you, or make you feel unseen. They get comfortable. They start believing that no matter how they treat you, you won't leave. And as long as you continue to tolerate it, they have no reason to change. But when you decide to walk away, not out of anger, not to prove a point, but because you finally understand your worth, everything shifts. The absence of your presence speaks louder than your words ever could. The energy, the love, the care that you once poured into them is now being directed toward yourself, and that's when they start to notice. That's when regret sets in. They will look for you in the people they meet. They will replay old conversations in their mind. They will wonder why they didn't appreciate you when they had the chance. And suddenly, all the things they once overlooked, the way you listened, the way you cared, the way you stood by them, become painfully clear. But by then, you're already gone. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about making them suffer. This is about self-respect. This is about recognizing that you should never have to beg for love, attention, or respect. The right people will never make you feel like an afterthought. The right people will never make you question your worth. And the moment you realize this, you stop settling. So if you've been feeling unappreciated, if you've been pouring into people who only take from you, if you've been tolerating less than you deserve, it's time to step back. Not to punish them, not to teach them a lesson, but because you deserve better. And when you do, when you shift your energy and start valuing yourself the way they never did, they will feel your absence in ways they never imagined. But by then, it won't even matter, because you'll have already moved on. You'll be thriving, growing, and stepping into a life where you are surrounded by people who see your worth. Not just when you leave, but while you're still there.